Hey, it's Dr. Brenda, founder of the Gutsy Women Club, where women dare to dream and take bold actions to follow their heart's journey. So I hope you're doing well today. Hey, please subscribe below. I'd love for you to follow along on this incredible journey, traveling the country with my 3 cats. I took 2 of them into the vet yesterday, and that was $1,000 price tag. So Ginger needed her blood work done to check to see how she's doing on her recovery from anemia. We're trying to wean her off of prednisolone, and this is the lovely Dolly the RV cat. So she's a senior cat, 13 years plus, and just hadn't been quite behaving the way she usually does, so I wanted to take her in, and we got some blood work done. And say hello, Dolly. Hi, Dolly. So it is moving day, and I'm going to be honest with you because I'll tell you what, I've been on the road now for almost 14 months, almost 15 months. Wow. And so I've moved a lot, and there's always a little bit of anxiety on moving day. There really is. So once I'm on the road, I'm usually into the okay, get myself used to driving again, and I'm excited about the next place. But before I get to that point, there's quite a bit to do in the RV, and it's like the day that I hope everything is going to work out okay. So let me tell you what, if you've been following this journey, you know I've had my fair share of tire/wheel issues, and yeah, back at it again today. So the last park, well, 2 parks ago now, when I was in southern part of Oregon, I left the park. I've got a tire monitoring system, went off, and I had one of the tire, which is a new tire, installed December 1st of last year, new tire, had deflated. So it was down to, it's supposed to be 80 psi, and it was in the 60s. So I pumped it up, headed to the next park, and then at that park, which was even more remote, I checked it before I left, and it had gone down some, so I pumped that up to 80, and here, this was a really long drive. I'm at Fort Stevens, headed out of Fort Stevens State Park in northern part of Oregon, on the Oregon coast. Hi, baby. And the last hour, I was pretty uptight driving because, so the tire monitoring system, I've gotten to know my tires really well. Really, that I'm gonna start to name them. I've got 6 tires, and I'm gonna have to give them names because I can watch what they're doing as I drive. So generally, when you're driving a distance, as you get going, you're 80 psi or 78 psi. That psi starts to increase. Now, if it gets too hot, which has happened, I'll get a warning that the PSI is usually if it's over 100. And I've had that warning before, and I've pulled off just to give it some time to cool off. 15 minutes, the PSI will drop down. But generally, when I'm driving, the PSI climbs. So the last hour into the campground, so I might start at 80 PSI, and maybe they go up to 90, 95 PSI. And the last hour into this campground, my Trouble tire, that's a good name, my Trouble tire, the PSI starts going down. So I still have a ways to go, and I'm watching that tire monitor, the sensor system, and I'm watching it go down from 85, 82, 80, 79, 78, and it's like, okay, I still got several miles to go. Can I get here before the alarm goes off? So I think it was down to about 74 PSI when I rolled in, and I knew from the last 2 places that likely just sitting here for a week, the PSI is going to go down. The tire pressure is going to go down. So I checked yesterday, It's down to 50. I pumped it up so it's now in the high 70s. Well, maybe. I didn't check this morning, but it should still be in the 70s. And I set up an appointment to go to Les Schwab Tires. And so I scoped it out before. I drove there, asked about, bringing an RV in, found out, where do I drive it to? No problem. I don't have to unhitch. So that makes me feel a lot better if I can scope out the place and talk to them in advance. And then I was able to go online to make an appointment. So it is Friday morning, and I'll get myself ready to go and try to time it so that I can get there. It's 15 minutes away, so it's a pretty close little drive. The park I'm going to today is pretty close. It's about 2.5 hours away. So this is a really good time to take care of my tire issue. Not in a hurry to leave. It's going to be a shorter day on the road, so I have time. So, but let me tell you, I do get nervous every time that I get set to go, and I really get nervous of like, is everything going to work? The engine's going to start. This is a great RV. It's a 2012 Winnebago Aspect 30C. It's been a fantastic RV, except for the tire issues. But it's like, okay, make sure I've got, the jack's going to go up, the slide's going to go in, everything going to work out. So I always get a little bit nervous about that. Now, usually, I don't know if you can see out my window here, but it's dreary and rainy. And so usually I do a really good cleaning job. I scrub the floor, vacuum, have a little hand vacuum the carpet, wipe things down. And so usually when I get to the new place, my RV is ready to set up. But if it's rainy like this, I have to switch gears because I'm going to tramp dirt into the RV. It just can't be helped. I go in and out, unplugging things, putting the slides in. And so the floor can get a little bit dirty when it's wet outside, bringing sand in and stuff. So it's impossible to keep the floor clean. So I held off on doing any of that stuff until I arrive at the new place. And then the other thing I have to think about is hitching. So at the last place was really easy. The one before that, very narrow road. And so I had to, I actually went to the exit of the park, talked to them and said, hey, I'm going to park this over here. I don't have enough space without blocking the road. So I'm like, okay. So they were fine with that. I parked my car there, brought my motorhome up, and then hitched up in a really open space. And today I've already scoped out. I can see that 2 sites down, I don't have a neighbor. So I can roll my Jeep back into that site, and I can roll my RV back. And so I can stay on the edge, but with that empty site, I know I'm not going to be blocking anybody. So there are all these logistics that sort of play out in my head, and probably in your head if you're an RVer. It's like, okay, should I, the little ones are, well, should I clean up the floor? Should I, what should I do today? And then, all the way up to hitching, the logistics of hitching. I have an RV GPS unit, which has been critical. Now, I'm not sure why. It took me on my last route. It felt a lot longer and probably added what seemed like 100 miles to my route. But I've learned to trust it, so I've done really well with that. And so, yeah, so it's another moving day. And the cats, they'll have some time. They're already starting to snooze and get sleepy, so they'll have some time to get themselves settled in here, and then I'll be taking off. There's a dump station. I already know where the dump station is. I went by the other day, and there was a long line. This is a huge park, and it seems there's only one dump station, so there was a line. So I will be prepared for that. If the line is too long, I can also dump at the next park. So one way or another, things will get dumped. So, yep, it's a matter of collecting my garbage now. I've got some time. I've got to make sure that I have all my loose stuff, my laptop screen, my cat stuff, everything tied down so things aren't flying around in the cabin. But I've gotten pretty darn good at getting things ready to go. So it is moving day. Any tricks that you have on moving day, I would love to hear about it. And yeah, so I'm ready for some sun. I have been in this sort of cold, damp, dreary weather for over a month. And I think tomorrow at the new place, I'm going to have sunshine and temperatures in the 70s. I've barely cracked 60s. You know, I mean, this is 57 degrees is not unusual. So I feel like I've lost part of summer. I'm looking to regain it. Anxious to get outside and go back into being in nature and doing more stuff. So excited about the next place. All right, guys. Hey, please subscribe and I'll let you know how the tire saga goes. In fact, I'm gonna just hold off on this video, and I'm gonna add to the end of it. So I'll connect with you from the tire place. All right, take care. Okay, made it to the tire place. It might be about an hour. I did have the appointment, so that helps. And I scoped it out ahead of time, so I've got this big bay and a place to turn around. You know, that's the key. Turn it around. Okay, we'll see how it goes. So, what the heck is happening with my tire wheel, right? The guys at the tire shop took the tires off, thoroughly checked the interior tire, said it's in great shape, right? No nail damage, no damage at all. No reason why it should be deflating. So what he did is put in a new valve stem. Boy, that's deja vu all over again. So, yeah, so I don't really know what's going on. If there is a reason for the valve stem to constantly come loose, I don't know. I mean, my tire monitoring system is going to get a heck of a workout here because I keep watching what's going on. So it was about a 2.5-hour drive from the tire shop to my state park here in Washington State. Maybe you can see that there is sunshine here. Absolutely. Yay, sunshine. And so everything worked fine. Nothing deflated. I will check again when I'm going to leave here to see what's been going on. By the way, check out this campsite. So, yeah, I scoped the campsites out. If there's a photo, Washington State Parks, you can reserve 9 months in advance. So I look at the photo. If there's a photo of my site, I make sure that I can get the catio on this side, right? So we can go out and use the catio. Well, since that photo, look what happened. The tree was cut down, and this is as far as they pulled the tree over. So no catio. I can't put my awning out because there's no reason for it. I can't sit there. So I did improvise. So talking about, how you improvise, and this is it. So I'm at the back of my RV. I'm like, hey, you know what? My catio can go out here. Yeah, it means I'm not, I've got to walk out and walk outside. And then I said, well, what about the cats? I'm like, you know what? I've got lots of windows here. So the cat ramp is now going into my bedroom window. And Dolly especially likes it a lot more because it's not sloped so much. Instead of boom, it's a nice soft slope because the window's a little bit further down, which makes me think maybe I will get a taller board so that I can, permanently have a slighter slope. So it's working out okay, but this is these are the unpredictable pieces of traveling and some of the things that can be stressful as you hit the road, but everything, I'm here. I got sunshine, and it'll all be okay. But yep, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that tire system, and just keep dealing with it. I hope that this will be the fix that it needs. Fingers crossed. All right, guys, take care. Hey, please subscribe.